Hello, everybody. Welcome to Saturday Morning Dooger. How's it going? How's your Saturday? Or Sunday? Or Friday? I don't think it's Friday anymore for anybody. I don't really know how any of that shit works. How's it going, guys? Happy weekend, regardless. Let me read off our list in the events so far. Tiny Grumpy Kitten, thank you so much for subscribing. T-Brain, thank you for the 2 months. Fight Groth, thank you so much for subscribing. Angel Omnipotent, thank you. Or Angel Omnipotent. Sure, you know what? At first I read it as Angelo, and then I realized the other word was omnipotent, and I was like, oh, that's clever. Angel Omnipotent. That's not how it was at all. Thank you for the 2 months. Bloodfire, thank you for the 29. Hakuchi, thank you for the 11. Quantum Clockwork, thank you for the 2. Slice Thenix, thank you so much for subscribing. Brandy Meow, thank you so much for subscribing. Andromius, thank you so much for the 14 months. Witch Tea, thank you for the 10. Nerds of the Hawk, thank you for the 11. Rana Clem, thank you for the 14. Vampire Sucks, thank you for the 18. Tiny Grumpy Kitten for the 2 years. Wait, what the fuck happened back there then? Tiny Grumpy Kitten, thank you for the 2 years. I don't know why you're on this list twice, as though you were a brand new babby, but that's all right. Thanks for the many wonderful years of videos and streams. I'm glad to have been able to sub for the past 2. Always enjoy the wonderful community and friends that come with being a burrito. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad you like it here. Sidalist, thank you for the 8. Potato Nut for the 31. Koto-san for the 41. Panderbo for the 33. Majin Kyle for the 53. Sazada, thank you so much for subscribing and becoming a new member of the Cat Gang. Mr. Ow, thank you for the 3. Dodge This Angie, thank you for the 8. Grimsteel Reaper for the 21. Grit Fox for the 16. A Clash of Lings for the 29. Adamantis, thank you so much for subscribing. Smart Guy, thank you for the 3 years. Happy anniversary to you as well. Cool Cotton Wood, thank you for the 5. And Timber Majoran, thank you for the 16. Yeah. So many, I know. It's a glitch on mobile. I've resubbed in order to sub on mobile. Oh, I thought that you couldn't. I thought you still couldn't, actually sub on mobile. Dooger almost as blonde as me now. Yeah, I'm working on it. It's funny, though. You can tell that, we color corrected originally. You know? It's slowly becoming more and more, orangey looking than it was. I think we color corrected it to look a bit more, ashy blonde. Mm-hmm. I'm okay with it, though. I'm a fan. I'm good with it. Shifty Monk, thank you for the 25. Why not Zoidberg? Thank you for the 25. Megan Series, thank you for the 27. It's 27-month sub, and I just had my 27th birthday. Kawinky Dink. It might be. It might be a Kawinky Dink. Drexler Plays, thank you for the biddies. That new guy, thank you so much for subscribing. Cooper the Clearest Blue, thank you for the 2. Penguin in Space, thank you for the 18. And the Real Al Gamer, thank you for the 18. Holy shit, you have my exact hair color now. It looks really good on you. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. And Fuzz Wallace, thank you for the 10 months. Thanks, guys. Wait, can I show you a hilarious picture of me last night? So I got these things. I'm always on the lookout for easier ways to curl my hair. So that's the precursor to this picture, right? So I got these things. It took me a little bit of finicking, but I managed to get them in. No! Oh, it's because I know where they are. I know what happened here. Here's me last night. I texted Sam hello. It did, so I have this sort of hair that tangles super easily. And so you're supposed to put those in when your hair is damp. But when I was trying to put them in while my hair was damp, it would tangle inside of the thing. And if I did it while it wasn't damp, while it was dry hair, it went right in easy peasy. So I was like, okay, I'll put it in dry, and then, don't take that out of context. I'll put it in dry, and then I'll spritz my hair with water, right? And then maybe it'll simulate that there's damp hair in there. It didn't totally work. It made it a little curly, but I think if my hair had been legitimately super damp, I think it probably would have worked really well, actually. Hold on. Yeah, see it actually made it pretty all right. There were curls in there. There were curls in there, but they dropped really fast. So I think if my hair was super damp and I let them just dry in there and then sprayed it somehow with hairspray or something. So curly. But this is what it looks like today after curling it at midnight last night. So it honestly, it's got a little bit more shape to it than it normally does. So that's nice, but it's not curly, right? So that cat looks majestic. This is Sherlock. How you doing, buddy? He was sleeping next to me all night. What a sweet boy. What a sweet boy, huh? Sherlock has started doing this weird thing. I feed the baby at midnight. He started doing this weird thing where he grabs one of his babies. He's got little stuffed animals all over the place that he likes to carry with him. He picks up one of his babies. He comes into the room, and we don't have a chair in her room, so I just feed her on the floor. We have a rug in there, so I just sit on the floor with her and I feed her. Sherlock has started coming in. He'll drop the toy right next to her, rub his head all over her feet, all over her head. And I'm like, oh my God. Because the whole point of trying to work an extra feeding in the middle of the night is so that they basically, for the most part, stay asleep the whole time, right? You don't stimulate them at all. You don't talk to them. You don't make any noise. You just pick them up while they're like, what the fuck's going on? And then they're like, oh shit, food. And then they eat. And then you're back to bed. And they're like, oh, sick. Right? That's the point, right? So Sherlock fucking crashes in there every night now. Going, meow. And drops his toy and fucking knocks into her with his big old body. And I'm just like, I can't even be mad because it's so cute. It is really cute. It is. Huh. And I've started we have little tiny rugs. So I've started putting her on the ground on one of these tiny rugs. She still can't crawl or anything. So if I put her on one of those rugs, she's somehow completely forgotten how to scooch. She was scooching really, really well. She could go from one end of the bed to the other end of the bed. And now when she tries to scooch, it's actually hilarious because she mimics what she remembers doing in order to scooch, but doesn't actually move. So before, she would be like this, right? And she would slam her head. She would slam her head into whatever she was laying on and push on her head until her body made a teepee, and then she would inchworm, right? And it was very funny, but it was effective, and people were like, oh yeah, that's a common baby thing. Either they roll everywhere or they inchworm everywhere. Or they get really good at sitting and then they kind of butt scooch, right? Those are the precursors to crawling. So she was doing this really funny inchworm thing. And I was like, all right, look, it's effective. She figured out how to do it 2 months ago, right? And at this point now, she has stopped doing it. So instead, now when we're come here, and she's all excited to move, right? And she just gently puts her head on the bed and then looks up did I move? And it's so funny. This is are you closer? Did I do it? What do you mean? It's so funny. Story Searcher, thank you for the 50 months. 50, hot damn. Detective Zen, thank you for the biddies. Thanks for being a welcome distraction from anxiety over my upcoming driving exam. Oh my gosh. I should have failed my driving exam if that makes you feel better. They took pity on me. You've got this. You totally got this. Don't even worry about it. Silent Matt, thank you for the 2 years. Happy anniversary. Wetfly, thank you so much for subscribing. Roshu Gaming, thank you so much for the biddies. Such as Jesse, thank you for the 2 months. I saw a guy wearing your coffee shirt. I had just enough time to yell at him as I ran to my exam. Oh, was it somebody at like your school? Aw, that's very sweet. Shadow Crosster, thank you so much for the biddies. Mine Cheetah for the 4 months. Teviston for the 22. Big Bo for the 5. Dodge the Sanji, thank you for gifting a sub to Lauren the Lady. Lauren, welcome back to the Cat Gang. And Saint Century, thank you so much for the 10 months. Sherlock looks like he's constantly about to pounce, but he's too sleepy to do it. He's loafing right now. He's in a loaf, but just like not on the ground, so you can see all of the inner workings of his body. Look at you, loafing. So cute. He's got all these tiny patches of white, like really itty bitty ones, but they're all over. You're turning into an old man. Right there, right there, right there, right there, right there, right there. Huh. There's a couple on your face. Oh! Black cat's getting grays. So cute. Lurker Panda, thank you for the 19. Vash the Dash for the 32. Third person only for the 25. And Venna, thank you so much for the 7. That cat Slav squat. He was at uni. We were both wearing the coffee shirt. It was amazing. And he was terrified. Well, if you see him again, say hi from me. Give him pat pats. Pat, 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 pat. That's from Sherlock. That's from Sherlock? Yeah, that's from Sherlock. That's from Sherlock to Sherlock. Pat, 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 pat. Pat, 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 pat. Pat, 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 pat. Oh my gosh, that's really cute. I'm sorry. You're probably obnoxious. You're so cute. Your cat is identical to mine. Mine is named Kitmo. Aw. A lot of people seem to have, yeah, go for it, Sherlock. Do it. Do it, buddy. Go, do it. A lot of people seem to have Bombay cats like him. Because they like, I feel like almost every Bombay cat looks like every other Bombay cat. Like they all have the identical features, which is so weird. Huh. You look like a lot of kitties, but you're a big one. They're typically big cats. They typically have the yellow eyes and like kind of like the longer body. So being big just makes them look like they're just huge cats. You're so lucky with your cats. You must be a great cat mom and real mom. Thank you. Thanks. I try. Slowly turning into your swamp witch dream. Not nearly close enough. Not nearly close enough. I don't think anybody can be a swamp witch in Los Angeles. Kitmo is an old lord, he coming on the chunk boy scale. It's this boy too. That's you too, huh? You've lost weight though. He's lost weight. He's lost a little weight. Anime Turtle, thank you for the 4 months. And Mata, thank you for the 5. Also, okay, so I'm going to need Rex, guys. I watched first episode of New JoJo's, and it was all right. And first episode of Hinomaru Zumo, which was so good. I've been so excited for that anime. And then I saw like a screenshot from the anime somewhere, and I was like, holy shit, the first episode is out. And I made Sam watch it with me, and I was so excited. I didn't see the cat move. Sometimes Sherlock is on the chair and people are like, that's a cool chair. And then he moves and they're like, that's a fucking cat. That time I reincarnated as a slime is all right. Yeah, I've had a couple of people tell me to watch that. People told me to watch Zombieland and what's the other one? Some maid anime. The stands in part 5 are wild confusing right off the bat. They are. Yeah, so Sam is like not a JoJo's person, right? But he like stuck around and watched the first episode of New JoJo's with me. And and he was like, "What the fuck is this guy's power?" I was like, "Well, he said it was this." And he was like, "Yeah, he said that's what he said, but like look at all this other shit that it's doing. Like what is this what is the power here?" I was like, "I don't know." I don't know. I can't even justify this. I thought it was one power and it's a totally different power. And then there was a guy who showed up and was like, my stand does this. But then he proceeded to do like 3 other things. And we were like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm so sad there isn't going to be My Hero tonight/tomorrow. I know, man. But I would prefer, some people feel differently about this. I would prefer that they mostly just follow the manga and have seasons. But I know quite a few people have been like, why can't they just do a Naruto or a Bleach and just have it go forever? Like, I don't want all that filler, man. Can you imagine My Hero, like thick My Hero filler? I don't want that. I would much rather just have seasons. Like, if we can avoid anybody ever having to make a website that is all of the My Hero Academia episodes you should skip, I'll be delighted. I'll be so happy. Captain Papercut, thank you for the 9 months. Happy Twitch, baby. And Rose Psyche, thank you so much for the biddies. I wanted to thank you for helping us laugh and have fun no matter what day it is. Aw. Thank you. I'm glad I can give you guys some goofs. That's all I'm good for. Just point at the One Piece anime every time someone says that. But people have argued that the One Piece filler is legitimately, like, good. I can't confirm or deny, but I went to Hamilton for my early birthday present. Yo. Was it incredible? Was it everything you wanted? One Piece doesn't have a lot of filler, but the action is so drawn out that it's yawning. I love your mug. I got this from, I don't think that she's here right now, but our mod / my friend, Miss Random Badger, she gave it to me as a as a wedding present. True, One Piece makes Dragon Ball Z look fast-paced. That is true. But like that's also such evidence of where we're at with anime now, I think. And it's hard to say, oh, the pacing now is better than it used to be, right? When you watch a lot of older anime, you're like, Jesus Christ, I'm falling asleep. And it's hard to say like, oh, that's because our understanding of how to pace things is better now. It's difficult for me to accept that as the explanation because we also have so much evidence that our attention spans are much different now, right? Like our ability to pay attention has weakened by a lot. And that's okay. That's just like, you know, that's how the world is right now. Like we take in shitloads of information in a small amount of time, and that's what we prefer at this point, right? So it's hard to say like, oh, well, anime is just better now. It's better for us currently, for sure. It's paced in a way that is perfect for us in the present moment. But it might have felt kind of manic to us of the past, you know? With FMA, it's a bit different, though, because there already was an anime that covered those episodes. I think I'm positive that that's why they did that the way that they did. A lot of people watch Brotherhood and they're like, God, those first few episodes are pace it like whiplash, right? But those episodes already existed. They already existed in another anime, right? So I think they were like, we need to not take a shitload of time on this exact same shit again. Get to the point where it deviates and then really like pace it correctly. Your hair looks nice. Thank you. I've thought of doing a cut of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where every time something is repeated, it's cut so that everything is only mentioned once. Whoa. Fuck. Yu-Gi-Oh! Would be like 10 episodes. I wouldn't say it's okay that our attention spans are fried. Well, we adapt to whatever the current technology is, right? It's like saying, oh man, it's so tragic that we can't listen to a person do a monologue and remember every word of it. But that's how it used to be, right? Because everything was oral and nobody could read. Like the memory that people had for spoken word was so different to where we're at now. Like, I try not to get bummed out about, oh man, it sucks that like our brains are operating differently than they used to, because it's just evidence of like expansion in technology, and that's not necessarily bad. I think the sort of things that do bum me out are like really simple skills that we just don't, that a lot of people think are difficult or they don't know how to do. Things like just simple sewing. A lot of people just don't bother to learn how to sew simply. Like hand sewing takes no time at all. Or like cooking really simple things for yourself. Bread is what, like 3 ingredients? Like I think that's more depressing to me, is being told that simple skills are out of our reach, right? Like, our brains can still operate the way that they are right now and understand, like, I can sew a thing, I can make bread, right? There are things that I can absolutely, with no actual skill involved, be able to do, you know? I only just noticed the cat. See? He blends in. What a good boy. Whose longboard is that? It's mine. It's just a Twitch branded longboard. And I was supposed to be on a thing that got canceled. And they were like, I'm so sorry that we wasted your time. Can we give you anything from the merch store? And I was with Anne. I wasn't going to ask for this, but Anne, being a badass, was like, I want one of those longboards. And they were like, okay. And I was like, wait, then I want one of those longboards too. So that's the story of how I got the longboard. Anne was a badass, and I rode her coattails to victory. Classic. Do your feet ever get super cold on the tile floors? Not really. It's always pretty warm here, so. Anne is a bad influence. No, Anne teaches me to tell people what I want and to fucking go for it. It's not like I ride longboards. It just looks awesome. So why not ask for it? They offered. Mr. Genovation, thank you for the 19 months. Berserker Works, thank you so much for subscribing and becoming a new member of the Katogangu. I am Herder, thank you for the 25. Juliet Ta, thank you for the 15. Mer Cook, thank you for the 5. Sleggier Drake, thank you for the 5. El Zilko, thank you for the 2. Rebecca Neko, thank you for the 26. Sundari Side Character, thank you so much for the biddies. I just forgot, somebody in chat mentioned Halloween decorations. My sister sent me the spooky Doog coffee cat gang themed banner she made for me last year, and my dorm room looks so spooky. What? I want a picture. King of Sloth, thank you so much for the 13 months as well. I started reading a manga last night that is pretty cute. There isn't a whole lot to it yet. Let me see if I can find it. I think I favorited it. If I didn't, I'm a silly girl. Yeah. Oh gosh, I don't know what this translates to, but Tondemu skill de isekai horomeshi. It's about a guy. It's about it's an isekai if you couldn't gather that. Tondemu skill de isekai horomeshi. It's about a guy, it's like a world where it's like super normal for them to summon people from other universes to like fight their battles. So this guy like just shows up, and he shows up with like 2 other people from Japan, and they're like, welcome, warriors from another world, right? And it's established like in the story that anybody who's from another world has like specific skills that nobody else does. It's kind of like Dungeons and Dragons-y. Like they all have like a skill called item box, where they can basically put an infinite number of things into like a separate dimension, sort of like a bag of holding. And this guy, like basically they like bring him in to fight the battles for this kingdom, and he's like, I'm not a warrior, I'm just gonna go. He just like leaves. And he starts he realizes that he has a way to like pull items from his universe. Like it's another skill that warriors have, is to be able to access things like from their world. And so he's craving food from Japan, and he starts like grabbing things from Japan and making food, and everybody is like, this food is fucking incredible. And that's like the whole thing. And like monsters are like, what the fuck is this? Like there are like monsters around that he feeds, and it's so good. Hold on, I'll type it in. It is another isekai, but it's good. Oh yeah, Konnichiwa in chat wrote it down. It's so good. It's really cute. It's just really cute and simple. They're like, yeah, he's got a bunch of skills, and they're normal. I'm like, all right, I'm down to accept that. There's only 14 chapters. So it's pretty short so far, but it's cute. I love like food stories. That's a superpower I could totally get down with. Yeah, right? It's like Minority Report style. Like he just brings up like a screen, and it's like, what do you want? He's like, oh shit. Is Watson off camera, or is Sherlock just surveying his domain? I don't know where Watson is, but Sherlock tends to stick close to me. Jay Dresden, thank you for the 2 months. And Blopen, thank you so much for subscribing. Could you define isekai? Oh gosh, I tried to do this on another stream. Isekai is anything in which main character, well, not even necessarily the main character. It's a story in which like people are pulled from one world into another world. That's like the basic description of it, right? Fushigi Yugi is like an older isekai. Any of you who have read Yamcha Isekai, that's obviously one where the guy like it suddenly wakes up one day and is Yamcha inside of Dragon Ball. If any of you haven't read Yamcha Isekai, it's amazing. So you gotta. Inuyasha is an isekai. And people like question like, well, how far does it go, right? Overlord and No Game No Life and Sword Art Online, definitely isekai. They're like being trapped in a world that isn't their own, even though it's digital, right? So yeah, it's a very common genre. And it's like stood the test of time, man. People just keep writing isekai. Although I feel like they were really common a long time ago, and then they sort of resurfaced with the kind of video game themed ones, you know. Digimon, totally an isekai, yeah, for sure. I read Yamcha Isekai because you recommended it, and it's so wholesome, isn't it? It's like pretty cute. It's a guy who's like an obsessive Dragon Ball fan, and he wakes up and he gets like hit in the head or something, and when he wakes up, he is Yamcha at the very beginning of Dragon Ball. And he's like, what? And he, being an obsessive Dragon Ball fan, knows Yamcha's story, right? From beginning to end, and is like, I can like make Yamcha the best character in Dragon Ball, right? Like that's his whole thing. He's like, I could be like the best potential Yamcha ever. And that's kind of the story. It's like really funny. It's super short. Yeah, I was saying I've watched Hinomaru Zumo, which I love the manga of, so I was really excited for the anime to come out. And the first episode of the anime is so good. It's a sumo manga, but like when you read the manga, everything feels very heavy. And I was a little worried about the anime because I was like, I wonder how they're gonna animate it, because I feel like if everything's just animated like, you know, like a shonen battle manga, if things don't feel heavy, it's not gonna come across correctly. I feel like a lot of the like pressure and intensity of that manga is in like how strong and powerful like all of these dudes are, right? And just like the pressure, like the weight of them, right? And they did such a good job. I felt like the first episode was so good with that, like the way that they animated the action in it. You're just like, oh fuck, like you feel like people are getting really messed up, right? It's cool. So I'm really happy with that. I can't wait to keep watching that. I made Sam watch it with me, and he was happy with it. He had no prior knowledge of what it was at all. I was like, will you watch a sumo anime with me? And he was like, I know, cute. And then, and then we watched the first episode of New JoJo's, which I'm like mad on. I think Giorno is just like kind of boring. He's like kind of boring so far. But I made the mistake of saying that on Twitter, and then people were like, so obviously it's the first episode. I'm not like judging the dude. I'm not saying he's a boring character and I hate it. I'm just saying in the first episode he comes across so flat. So is there anything that Sam makes you watch? Not really. He puts on, we watch a lot of streams together, and sometimes he puts on streams of things that I just like don't give a shit about. But it's always fun to have like the energy of a stream in the background, you know? That's more what I appreciate about streams than anything, which is hilarious because I actually really love watching Krendor sometimes. Like, I'll put Krendor on, especially if Krendor is playing League. I don't know why. Just like having Krendor playing League on in the background is so just, it's like, it's as though I came downstairs and was like, Alexa. Oh, sorry for anybody who has one of those. Ignore. I'll pause. It's kind of like asking your robot, your friendly home robot, to play like coffee shop music. That's how Krendor feels sometimes. Just like, I'm just gonna put Krendor on, and he's just gonna like talk about whatever the fuck, and he's gonna play this game where not much happens, and it's gonna be nice background noise. I don't know. But the period of time where he was watching constant VR chat streams, I like hit a brick wall where I was like, I can't watch this shit anymore. Like I hate it. Like I literally hate it. So from then on, he would be like, what do you want to watch, honey? Because I know I can't put this shit on. Dip Top, thank you for the 18. Degrees of Pain, thank you for the 22. What Up, Mon? Thank you for the 10. Parthmater, thank you so much for the 26. And Cadex, thank you for the 19. Oh, burp, sorry. And Andalect, thank you for the 3. That burp wasn't for you, Andalect. I'm so sorry. Ah, yes, the dark times. I used to watch your streams while doing homework, and it kind of had that effect for me. Aw, I'm happy to be your guys' Krendor. I'm happy to be your softly droning coffee shop music. I don't mind the burp. Phew. You're like, unsub. Any movies you've been wanting to watch? I have to watch Venom. I gotta know. Like, is it bad? Is it amazing? It's incredible seeing the disparity of reviews on this movie. Like, I need to know. I need to see it. Because, holy shit. Like, I literally follow people who are like, Venom is a fucking incredible movie. And then there are people who are like, Venom is the worst hot garbage I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like, oh my God, I have to see this movie. I have to see it. Like that sort of disparity excites me almost as much as everybody saying a movie's incredible. Right? Like when people are like, holy shit, this movie's fantastic, and everyone says that, I'm like, wow, I'm excited to see this movie, right? I hope it's just not overhyped for me. That's the only thing I ever worry about. When like half of the people I know are like, it's garbage, and half of the people are like, it's incredible. Like, I'm just like, oh my God, I need to know. I have to see this. Maureen, how are you? To me, you're like a phone call to my mom. Oh, even though I've never met you, I get the feeling that I miss you sometimes. Is that weird? No, it warms my heart. It really warms my heart. Oh, I'm like a phone call to your mom. That's so sweet. That's the sweetest thing anyone's ever said. Rotten Tomatoes score is 33. Audience score is 88. Fuck, I gotta see it. I have to see this shit. It's gonna be amazing. Like, oh my God. Fuck. I'm so excited. Weird Uncle Jay, thank you for the biddies. Generic number, thank you for the 29. Dmitry Shostabrovich, thank you for the 9. Happy Twitch, baby. M-Step Games, thank you for the 11. Delarna, thank you for the 3 years. Happy anniversary. And CLLE, thank you so much for subscribing and becoming a new member of the Cat Gang. I like putting streams on to fall asleep to. Occasionally it's a Dex bonus stream and then you just shout fuck at random. I know. I've like been trying to be better about that and I don't think it's working. Because it's kind of like, this is one of those moments where I think to myself, my mom was right. I would do things around the house when I was a kid and my mom would say, don't do that, because if you do it too often, you'll do it in front of other people. And I would say, no, I won't. I have control over myself, right? And now as an adult, remember when that lovely person came into our chat and was like, I have your stream on for a bunch of lovely sick children in a hospital. And I was like, oh my God, I can't swear for the rest of the stream. And then I had to donate like hundreds of dollars because I couldn't stop swearing. Like, that is the evidence. That is the evidence that my mom was right. My mom has been right this whole time. Like, damn. I was talking with Jeannie about that. Jeannie and Isaac came to visit us, right? And Jeannie was saying that when she and Isaac first met, so she and Isaac have been dating for a while, but they both worked at Maker. I knew Isaac before I knew Jeannie. Like, that's how they met. And she was saying that Isaac admitted to her that when they first met, it was when like a bunch of people were all going to get food together at Maker or like in the game station area. And she was just like, she was just like telling a story like really loud and really animated, and she was throwing out fucks like constantly, right? And Isaac was like, who is this girl? Like, was so just like embarrassed. It's just like, this girl is next level. And it makes me laugh because I know that like I do that sometimes, right? I get like too excited to tell a story, or I get too intense about something, and then I throw out an F-bomb, and I look around and I'm like, there's a child! Like, there's a baby over there, right? And it's funny because on Coffee Time you really curse. So I like, somehow I managed to like split my brain with that, right? It was anything on YouTube I don't curse. And anything on stream, it's fine because it's just a stream. Like, who cares, right? Like, that was kind of how my brain was split. And then the more that, like, streaming became my primary thing, the more I was like, oh, no. Oh, no. I'm just a sailor now. Like, I don't know how to go back. Like, I think about that a lot because I vividly remember as a little kid going to Taco Bell with my parents. And I remember my dad getting up and talking to this group of teenagers because they were swearing. And he was like, my daughter is right over there, and you need to think more about what you're saying in public and blah, blah, blah. My dad is a very intimidating Hobbit man. So he was like properly finger wagging at these people. And as a kid, I remember thinking to myself, like, I don't even know what they did. Like, I wasn't paying attention, right? I didn't hear anything that those kids said, but my dad was, like, really offended. And so I'm always just waiting for that day that I'm going to not be thinking about it, and I'm going to, like, say a bunch of shit, and the, like, current day version of my dad is going to come over and be like, my child is over there, and you need to watch your goddamn mouth. And I'll be like, I'm sorry. Like, I think about that a lot. Tark6, thank you for the 2 months. Daryl Biggums, thank you for the 27. Ostix, thank you for the 45. The Songbird Girl, thank you for the 2. Deku Full Cow, thank you for the 13. And Potion Trader, thank you for the 7. That happened to me at Taco Bell, no joke. My friends were steering. We got told off by a father of a family with a small girl. Was it you? I don't know. Are you like 10 to 15 years older than me? Now I'm worrying because I swear a lot too, right? Like, it's like, I don't really care about swearing in front of my own child. And like, if you feel differently about that, it's totally fine. Like, I don't want to get into an argument about parenting types with anybody. I don't really care if people swear in front of my kid, right? But I don't want to be the person who's putting other parents in an uncomfortable position with their own children, right? Like, if they're like, we don't swear in front of our kid, I don't think that I should be the person who's like upsetting that, right? I don't want to be the person who's in public just being like, right? Like, and somebody has to be like, this chick. So, you know, just trying to like respect other parents and what they want for their kids. But I don't think about it anymore. It's a problem. I'm a 30-something now. And while that means on one hand that I can do whatever I want, it also means I think that I like overly consider stuff like that. SJ Gold, thank you for the 2 months. Natwell85FR. I almost said France for some reason. like you're a .fr website. Thank you for the 3 months. Jumpstein, thank you for the 3. And T Golem, thank you for the 11. isn't teaching your kids not to swear more important than keeping them from learning the swear words? Like, I haven't thought about like the future version of this whole thing. Like, I swear a bunch in front of my child, and then one day she's like, fuck, and I'm like, I don't like, I don't know how to deal with that, you know? I haven't really thought about it yet because she can't even say simple stuff. She doesn't say anything yet. But yeah, I'm kind of that opinion, right? Like, it's going to be impossible to keep her from hearing swear words. So, like, either way we would have to address it, right? I fear for other kids when Clark enters pre-K. I don't worry about her saying stuff to them. I worry about her just, like, drop kicking other children and having to be like, no. I can't remember. Did I tell you? Like, I was goofing about this, and yet this is, like, the more that I goof about it, the more I'm like, no, this is literally what I'm going to do. I really want to teach her that, like, that, like, if another kid attacks her, she can attack back, and that's fine. But if she wants to, like, play fight with somebody else, she has to declare a duel, and that's the only way that it's okay. If she declares a duel and somebody accepts, then she can go for it. But if the other kid doesn't accept the duel, then she can't fight them. Like, because, so Sam's family, all of the boys in Sam's family, like, they grow up, like, play punching with each other, right? And they always wind up with this situation where the kids just punch everybody whenever they want. And then they're like, fuck, how do we, like, roll this back, right? So I'm like, well, how can I teach her that it's, like, okay to play fight, but that you need to, like, declare it to the other person, right? Like, I want to play fight with you. Is that okay? So just establish dual rules, right? My old coworker gave her kids swear points. When she took her daughter to get shots, she would start crying. Do you need a swear? You can have one swear. Oh, that's really cute, though. Your kid gets told on. Her defense is she declared the duel. Look. Is it weird that I didn't play fight as a kid? Did you have siblings? I think sometimes that makes the difference, maybe. Yeah, and I don't know. I don't want her to feel like somebody can just wail on her and she can't fight back, right? That's the other thing. If somebody's like, I'm going to beat up Clark, I want her to feel like, hell no, you ain't. Like, I don't feel right about that. But there's also the, like, what if a kid is beating up on another kid? Like, how do I talk to her about getting involved in, like, protecting another kid, right? Because honestly, if one kid was punching another kid and Clark was like, hell no, and got in the middle of that, I would be very proud. So it's like, how do I not encourage violence? While also being like, it's okay if somebody's, like, attacking you. It's okay to, like, it's okay to hit back, I feel like. But, like, maybe that's not, again, that's not how everybody feels, and that's totally fine. Rules of the duel is not being followed by other kids. She steps in for the kid. There we go. It's not okay to start, but it's okay to finish. That's, like, the concept in my mind, right? It's like, unfortunately, she'd also be very suspended from school. That's also true. Bibliothecary, thank you so much for the 22 months. One Punch Girl. My nephews took boxing as kids, so if they wanted to fight, they had to put on their gear and go to the community center. That's really cute, too. I like that, too. Like, if you're going to fight, you're going to do it properly. At your dojo. Why is suspension a punishment? You know, I've actually thought about that before. So my private school, the little school that I was talking about the other day that I went to, their version of suspension was you still had to come to school. You wouldn't go to class. You would do like community like style work around the school the whole day. So you would pick up trash, you would clean stuff, you would like help out in the cafeteria. Like you would work the whole day. In school suspension. Yeah, that would be the word for it, right? How soft is that kitty body? Is he silky or fluffy? Is he both? How touchable is that buff boy? I need to know. He's very squish. He's got lots of squish in here. His arms, muscle, but his belly is squish as hell. You say this like you ever got suspended. I didn't, but again, our school had like 100 and something kids. So I had to sit in the office and do schoolwork. Oh, so it was like you still had to do school, but you were isolated? Oh, it's like being in the shoe. If this was prison. What is that, Naruto shirt? I want to believe it. That was a really awkward position that I had to get in. I thought that I could just lift myself up and it would show the shirt, but it didn't work. Did you beat up any boys in high school? No. My beating up children days were specific to first grade. That was an only first grade thing. And it kind of operated on dual rules a little bit, but not completely. When she wasn't 2 feet shorter. Yeah, back when I was the same size as everybody else. That ended quick. It was pretty hard to get suspended at my school. It took a kid breaking teeth on a teacher. Jesus Christ. There was a girl who routinely like punched holes in walls. And I always thought to myself, why don't they just get her to fix the wall? But they didn't. She just picked up trash. And I was like, she should fix that fucking wall, right? Fricking. She should fix that mother flippin' wall. But like the school was kind of odd because it was a lot of like really sheltered kids, right? And then it was kids who were kicked out of the public school system because of violence or like acting out in some way. So we had like this really bizarre and again, very small school, right? So we all knew each other. So it was like this odd combination of people who had like kids who had weird anger issues and like didn't know how to deal with their emotions and all of this other stuff. And then the kids who were like really non-conflict and didn't know how to deal with it. So in that way, it was kind of an odd mishmash of people. But I remember there being a problem with a specific, I remember her. I can imagine her in my mind. This specific girl who, would punch holes in the walls. And as an adult now, as a kid, I was like, like, what the fuck? But as an adult now, I'm like, that poor girl probably needed help. Like, she probably needed to talk to somebody, and nobody was really talking to her. Can we start a like counter today? Why am I saying it too much for you? I say it all the time. I say like constantly. If we ever kept a like counter, you would all die if you were trying to drink along with it. I haven't watched in a while, but I love the new hair color. Thank you. It's not as like it's like looking at chat and seeing people saying like over and over again, and I went to say the word light, but I said like instead. Can't believe you guys. It's not as light as I want it to be in the end. Maybe she just really liked punching things. She might have. Yeah. But she got suspended fairly often. And our school didn't have the like you get suspended 3 times and then you're expelled sort of a thing. They really wanted to, they really wanted to help kids if they could. I just think at that time it wasn't very common to talk with kids about. It's not that they didn't want to talk about how kids were feeling. It was just, I don't know how to put this. Like discussing the psychology behind why a kid was doing something, I don't think was super common, My parents wanted me to be as edgy as possible, so the internet was my most edgy friend. Amazing. What kind of school was it? It was just like a little Christian school in the middle of the woods with 180 kids at the time that I was going, kindergarten through 12th grade. So it was nothing. There was so few kids. I was with the exact same kids from 2nd grade up through middle school. Yikes. 180 is small. For kindergarten through 12th grade, I think, yeah. I always really wanted. They kept threatening. I was talking about how we had like a really strict dress code, and they kept threatening that they were going to give us uniforms. And I was so jazzed. I wanted uniforms so bad. And I can't look back on it and say with any... I don't know for sure if it was because I was watching a lot of Sailor Moon at the time. I don't know. I don't know what it was, but I was obsessed with the idea of us having uniforms. I was like, holy shit. I wouldn't have to decide what I wanted to wear in the morning. I would just wear the same thing every day. That would be amazing. Let's just do it. Uniforms would be great. And meanwhile, everybody else in the class was like, I won't get to express myself with my clothes, which is fair, is totally fair. But me personally, who every morning said, those are the same shoes I wore yesterday. Those are the same jeans I wore yesterday. There's my sweatshirt. Got it. Went into school looking exactly the same as I did the day before. For me, it seemed the perfect idea, right? But they never implemented it. Boo! Blood Rage Engage, thank you for the 35 months. Sellage Dice, thank you so much for subscribing. Put Mana, thank you so much for subscribing. Jodlern, thank you for the 45. And Weird Uncle Jay, thank you so much for the biddies. I miss wearing a uniform. I've never asked Sam if he liked wearing a uniform or not. I know Sam wore a uniform. Tiri wore a uniform at her school for a little while. And her mom just made the clothes. I don't know how common that is either.
Drinking burrito, babe.
Now that I think about it, yeah. Wait, how does that work? Are they just like, this is the fabric, you can make it if you want, or you can take it to a person and they'll make it? How does that work? I don't know. The real question is, how hot would Sam look in a uniform? one of those fucking ones with like the like white button up and a goddamn like sweater vest over it. Oof. Fan me. I think it would be cool if you had a few options, right? If I say like, if it was like in an anime, right? Where you had lots of different options for, do you want a bow tie? Do you want a regular tie? Do you not want to wear anything? Cool. Do you have to have it buttoned all the way up? Can you have a couple buttons undone? Can you wear pants? Can you wear skirts? Different sizes of skirts. Like, what options are there? That would be awesome. If there were just like lots of different options, but you just had to wear the same like stupid pattern. I would be into that. That would be great. Not wearing anything sounds awkward. You know what I mean. Just wanted to stop in before I went to sleep. Good night, not Travis. We looked like a bunch of mini scientists. I love it. Dark Shadows, thank you so much for subscribing and becoming a new member of the Cat Gang. Cat Dragon Rose, thank you for the 15 months. Panda Guy, thank you for the 7. And Rose Attacker, thank you so much for subscribing and becoming a new member of the Katogangu. We had to wear a uniform in my school. It saved so much time in the morning. Here's my other question. How many of the uniform would you have? Right? Because it got dirty, right? So like how many of the same uniform did you have? One. I had 2 sets. I only had 1. 3 of each item, 2 sets. Oh shit, it's different for everybody. So for those of you who only had the 1, would you literally have to wash everything like every single day? Or was it like, I'll just wash the shirt and then the pants are fine and the blazer's fine and whatever? It was against school dress code to wear stuff with holes. Uniforms were expensive. Mine would start to get torn up. What the fuck? What if you pooped your pants? I mean, asking the real questions. My mom did that part. I don't know. That's fair. Sweatpants count as uniform, right? In my house, absolutely. Our school banned ripped jeans. I'm trying to remember if ripped jeans were a problem. When I was in middle school and when I was a preteen, we were all about those Jankos. So it wasn't ripped up jeans, not a problem yet. Jeans that you would literally trip over and eat shit, that was the big problem. That was the big problem that we all had. Blue Bari, thank you so much for subscribing and becoming a new member of the Katogangu. Good old Jinkos. Yeah, I remember the first time that I went to the store and I was like, Mom, I need to get oversized jeans. And she was like, right, because all jeans were oversized on me anyway. So like, funny joke, Doogs. It's like, no, I need jeans that are like way too big for me. And I was showing her like pictures. I was like these are the jeans everyone's wearing. Like I want to wear like big jeans. And my mom was like, okay. So I remember putting on like 3 different pairs of jeans, and every single pair my mom was like, Just like, what? What is this? What is this? This is so stupid. The thing, like, that was when I first really got into, like, pants that don't taper at the ankle, though. And that's still, to this day, what I prefer is like, jeans or trousers that are wider at the ankle. And we already established your mom was right. Look, my mom is always right. Looking back, Jinko was stupid as fuck, but dang, we were so cool, right? I went through a phase where I would go into Hot Topic and be like, oh man, they could be big and have chains and shit dangling from them? Fuck. I want them so bad. But of course, you know, all the Hot Topic jeans were like $100. I was like, bye. I never had a goth phase. I didn't have a goth phase either, really. I mean, I've just always liked wearing black, but I've never been like a all black all the time sort of person. I also sometimes I'll watch videos that are like goth makeup tutorials, and I'm like, I wasn't extra enough to be like full goth. We're just gonna chat today, Pale Rider. I'm in a constant goth phase. Yo, I have friends who are like full goth and they rock it and it's great. What phases did you have? I don't know. I'm not really sure. I never went like again, like I've never been the sort of person that took a lot of time on how I look. So I don't think I ever fully went into any phases. Like, there were things that I would look at. Dude, when scene hair was really big, when it was like the fucking huge hair, I was like, that looks amazing. I want that. Did I have the energy? Hell no. There were lots of phases where I would look at them and go, that looks awesome. I totally want to do that. And then I wouldn't do it. So I had a grunge-like phase. Could I say I'm still in a grunge-like phase? If I can just wear like ripped up jeans and kind of beat up boots and like old plaid shirts over t-shirts, that's really like my prime aesthetic. Your hair used to be very particular though. Yeah, but it was just dyed, right? I never styled it. I just like dyeing it, which is like you put the dye on, dyes off, and then you live your life. You dress Pacific Northwest. See, that's the thing, right? People like when people talk about what grunge is, I'm just like, yeah, but that's just kind of like Pacific Northwesty. I'm literally wearing that combo right now, right? It's the good shit. That's why I'm always bummed out when it's super hot here, just most of the time. But I always want to wear like big fucking chunky plaid scarves and shit. There's no reason to wear that. I've always been girly, so stuck in that phase, I guess. Dude, I've always really, even though I'm not fully on the opposite side, but I've never like gone really girly or like super effeminate with my clothing. That's like one of my favorite styles to like see on people, and I think it's because I don't entirely get it. But when I see somebody who's like really really effeminate and like really leans into it, I'm always like, that's awesome. I don't know what it is. I still hate wearing makeup. I love wearing makeup, but I don't like putting on makeup. Yeah, I wore boy pants for a really long time. Like actual, and I'm not saying like boy pants. I mean like I went to the little boys section of Old Navy and got my pants there for too long. I want to see your face when Clark wants a tattoo or a piercing way too early in her life. So if she's me, at the very least, I won't say what I heard a lot, which is like, why the fuck would you want that? Because I get it. I'll understand why she wants it. So maybe coming from that point of view will help. You had real pockets for the longest time, right? Fuck. I forgot you have a tattoo? I do. I've now reached out to 3 different... there are 3 different tattoo artists that I love that have been like, I'm going to be in LA. And I have reached out to all of them being like, hi. Because anytime I do this, I don't hear back. So I'm like, if I just go for all of them, if I'm just like, hi, I want a thing. We'll see if anybody responds. No band tattoos. Dude, yeah, I'm not saying that like everybody regrets a band tattoo or like a lyric tattoo or anything like that. But I have 2 different friends who put like specific lyrics on their body, and then a few years later were like, I wonder what I can cover this up with. And it always makes me super nervous to put any words on my body at all. I'm like, oh, maybe I should just never put words on me. Because it seems like that's one of those things that sometimes people are like, I don't want this anymore. I would rather like avoid a I don't want this anymore sort of scenario. Tattoo stream. A lot of tattoo artists feel really weird about filming them. And I always wonder why. Because like, I don't know. Like, obviously, you know, filming adds added pressure to the tattooing experience. So maybe for, you know, some artists, they're like, I just don't want that added. Like, I just want to be able to focus on what I'm doing, right? Totally get it. But there's always a part of me that's like, I don't know. Like, are you worried that the person would catch on camera you not being sanitary enough or anything like that? I don't know. That's like one of the worries that comes up in my mind. But there have been a couple of times where I've been like, hey, would you feel comfortable if I filmed? And it's not like if they said no, it would be a deal breaker at all, because obviously, right? Like it's their shit, their rules. But I always wonder. I'm like, I wonder why you don't want somebody filming any part of it. What the fuck was that? My Discord mod chat just sent me, holy shit, so many messages. I'm gonna go ahead and mute my phone. What the fuck? I just got like 30 messages in a row. What clique did you fit in at school? Popular girls? Yeah, I was a super popular girl. I knew a lot of people, but I didn't, like, I got along really well with pretty much anybody. But I was like pretty quiet, and I don't know. I hung out a lot with, like, I guess you would call them like the music kids. Kind of like the like hippie kids that hung out with their guitars at lunch. That was most of us. Yeah. And they were the ones who encouraged me to get into choir. They were like, "You have a nice singing voice. You should try out for choir." And I did. And I had a lovely senior year singing with all my friends. You mean the thespians? I actually didn't hang out with the like drama kids that much. I got along really well with them. Some of them were very intense. Some of them were very intense. So I was very involved with drama, and I did all of the plays and stuff. I was on dance team, so a lot of the like kind of like popular kids, I guess. A lot of the popular kids that I got along with, I met through dance team. And then a lot of the like, I don't know, a lot of the like drama kids I met through drama, obviously. I got along really well with all of the comp sci kids, like the kids who would hang out in the library and play Magic the Gathering and go into the computer lab and play like StarCraft and stuff. I hung out with them a lot. But I think like the people who I consistently hung out with the most were the music kids. JP, what's up, dude? Thanks for the 43 months. Faye Bell, thank you for the 6. Crystal Jen Larimer, thank you for the 4. Kito-san, thank you for the 10. Jenksme, thank you for the 9. Happy Twitch, baby. And Echoscope, thank you for the 11. I just realized I have the monitor.
Welcome, you fine cat-loving, coffee-drinking burrito babe.
Sam going, that's a big smelly butt you got to our daughter. Quality shit. Dad Amson, thank you so much for subscribing and becoming a new member of the Cat Gang. Popular kids are just bullies, right? Or was that just my school? Because if not that, what are popular kids really? Oh, no. Our popular kids were just like, they were just like the most charismatic people in the school, I would say. They were the people who were like the most aesthetically pleasing people, right? Who were very charismatic, very involved. So the people who were like on all of the sports teams and did student council and all of that sort of stuff. Our like popular kids were very nice. They were not bullies at all. They were just like very involved in everything, and so everybody knew them, and they were great. I was just super quiet, which is weird now, but I just didn't have a whole lot of confidence in myself, and I was a little awkward with people, so I got along just fine with everyone, but there was no way I was ever going to be like one of those, you know, hyper charismatic kids that was in the school, because I just didn't know how to like express myself in a way that felt very confident in who I was. The popular kids in my school were rich, the end. Yeah, that's fair. There were also, I would say some of the people who were in that group were just the rich kids. They were the Christmas tree kids.
Welcome, you fine cat-loving,
And look at you now, right?
babe.
Yeah, the area that I live in is known for like its nurseries, like plant nurseries. It's called the Banana Belt of like the Clackamas County area in Oregon, and it's where like thousands and thousands and thousands of Christmas trees are grown and then shipped all over the nation and even to some other countries. So we develop like a lot of Christmas trees every year. The kids who come from Christmas tree families are fucking loaded. They are the kids in my hometown that were just like, yeah, my dad bought me a car. I can't drive yet, but like I have a car for like when I'm ready. It's like a Lamborghini or something, right? Like those kids were, it was just like, fuck off. Like, come on. But yeah, they were the Christmas tree kids. Did you mind being shy? I feel like people see shyness as a negative thing. I think that sometimes shyness comes across as arrogance. And I remember being told that by my dad because there was a girl that like moved into school when I was still going to the private school. There was a girl that that joined our class, which was very rare, right? Normally, like we just had the same people every year. There was a girl who came into our class, and I remember going home and being like, she doesn't want to talk to anybody. Like she's kind of mean, you know, as a kid, like that's how I read it. And my dad was like, she's probably not mean. She's probably in a new environment and she doesn't know anybody, right? Like she's probably shy and just doesn't have anybody to talk to, you know, and like doesn't know how to interact with you guys. Like you've all known each other forever. And that was totally what it was. Like I like chipped away at her defenses, right? And became like really close friends with her. And she wanted to have a friend really badly. And so I think that like that's sometimes how it's perceived.
Welcome,
Is that
you fine
like the kids that are shy come across as like arrogant or like they have no interest in talking with people, when sometimes it's the opposite and you just need to have like that overly genky person who's like, hi, do you want to be my friend? Right? So
Do you know the monitors?
it's right here.
You've been spying on me.
I didn't know I had it until I heard you go, you got a stinky butt to Clark, and I was like, oh shit, and turned it off.
It was so bad that I gagged. So maybe you heard that, maybe you didn't. Who knows?
I didn't hear you gag. No one heard you gag. Everybody say hi, Sam. Did you like wearing a uniform?
Huh?
Did you like wearing a uniform in school?
No.
Okay. Did you know anybody who liked wearing a uniform in school?
None.
Okay.
We had blazers and we like fucking cut the sleeves off and we like deliberately like threw our ties away so we wouldn't have to wear them.
Oh, delinquents.
What?
Did all of the kids do that, or just
You guys don't even have uniforms, do you?
Only if you go to a private school.
Everyone has them in England, every school. We fucking hate that shit, it was dumb.
Right.
And then you watch TV and you see that Americans don't even wear them and you're like, what the fuck?
Right.
Why is it just us? Revolt.
Revolt. Rip the arms off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wait, one more question. How many how many of like your uniform did you have? Did you just have like the one set, or did you have like two?
You always had like one pair of trousers, two shirts, one blazer, one tie, one pair of school shoes.
Did you just
That's why if you fucked something up, your mum would be so pissed. Because then she'd have to go buy that shit again.
Right, right.
So.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. And now we know. I love headless Sam. That's my husband. That's Sam. He's from England. Who is that man? We'll never know. B-Dang, thank you for the 3 months. Young Tulip, thank you so much for subscribing and becoming a new member of the Cattle Gungu. Trabdor, thank you for the 25. Background Kitty, thank you so much for subscribing as well. And King Koopa, thank you for the 8 months. Oh, fuck, a wild strippin'. I'm married to England, yes. How did you meet Sam? So Jesse Cox and I were going to England for a convention called GemuCon. And we decided, like, oh shit, we're going to be in England anyway. We should go visit Yogscast. And so we planned like a whole day to go to Bristol and visit Yogs. And when we got there, Sam was working for them. I'm trying to remember what his job was at the time. I think he had like just started his YouTube channel. He didn't know who I was. I didn't know who he was. But I remember seeing him and being like, oh my, what a handsome man, right? And yeah, and we were all like, oh, we should all go grab dinner. And you know, all of the Yogs guys were like, well, we're gonna go home. And Sam stuck around with us and like took us to a bar and hung out with us, and it was super fun. And then he and I kept in touch. Yeah, because Erin was with us at the time and she was having like kind of a bad day. So she stayed behind and like called her husband and stuff and like just, you know, relaxed and rested because we had been traveling a bunch. And I remember so vividly coming back to the hotel room and being like, there is a dude at the Yogscast office that is so fucking handsome. And she was like, oh? I was like, yeah, he's so cute. And then it just worked out that I like hung out with him the rest of the day, and I was like, he's so nice. He's so like considerate and like wanted to make sure we had a good time, and like so great. Too bad I'll never see him again because he's in England. Smash cut to now. And then bam, married. Yes. Imbris Noctis, thank you for the 19 months. Vondas, thank you for the 8. MJC, thank you for the 21. And Artist, thank you for the 10. Your story could almost be turned into a rom-com. I guess so. Yeah. And then we were long distance for a little bit. Well, we were like flirting back and forth and having like Skype dates. And then he came to visit. And then he came to visit again. And then he got a visa to be here for a while so we could like really give it a shot. And then we were short distance until his visa was up, and then he went back home. He was very homesick at the time too, so it made sense for him to go back for a while. So we were long distance again, which was hard. It was really hard to go from long distance to not long distance and then back to long distance. And so then we were long distance again for a while. And then I guess he was just like, she's pretty cool and I don't want to be without her anymore. And so he proposed. What I think is really funny, especially because JP is in chat right now, what I think is really funny is I know that JP like helped Sam like figure out his proposal. But at the time, I was also talking with JP and being like, I think I'm just going to propose to Sam. And I just love that JP was like, he was like Louise from Bob's Burgers in that episode where Louise is like helping multiple people in the family play pranks on each other. Like that was JP in our situation. How many years have you been together? 5?
Welcome, you
Not that long,
cat-loving, coffee-drinking,
but long enough.
babe.
Long enough that like we still think each other is really awesome and we love spending time together, and like that's a really good sign, right? That's how I imagine the double proposals happen. Right? That's what I think too. Whenever I see these videos of people where they're like, will you marry me? And the other person's like, what the fuck? Will you marry me? Right? When they like both propose at the same time, I feel like there's always a friend who's in the middle who's like, you know what you should do? You should propose on this day in this place. It'll be really cool. Watching this is going to give me diabetes. It's really cute. Aw. Looking these up right now. Yeah, there are two that I've seen recently. One was a lovely like Dubs lady couple. It was super cute. I don't remember where they were. And then I think one was at Disneyland. And like they were posing for a picture. And a guy was like, and she's like, wait, what the fuck? It's super cute. I've been watching you since before, Sam. It's both awesome and really weird to see you being married and with a child. I feel so old. Me too, man. Sometimes when I think about when I started doing YouTube and stuff, I'm like, people have literally watched me grow up. And then someone will be like, yeah, I've been watching you since middle school. And I'm like, oh my God, we've kind of like grown up together, right? Like, isn't that crazy? What a time to be alive. Like, that could only happen now. I am 5 foot exactly. I've like slowly grown over time. So when I graduated from high school, I was 4'9". And since then I've like slowly grown for some reason. And Sam is 6'4". What, you grew? Yeah, yeah. Are you telling me there's still hope? There totally is. Yeah, for sure. I've been like slowly growing all through my 20s. I think I'm probably done now, but all through my 20s I was like growing just a little bit. So big height differences are just mwah. I feel like they're oddly common, but maybe that's just because I've always been attracted to tall people. Yeah, like it doesn't matter. Like tall boys, tall girls, it doesn't matter. I'm just always like, you're so tall. I love it. Did you maybe just fix your posture? Oh, definitely not. Because up to my 20s, I was actually active and like doing dance and all kinds of other things like that. No, the past like what 8 or 9 years, I've just been in front of a computer most of the time like this. Dude, it makes me sad how I know so many dudes that are like around my height, or just like it feels like they're just a little bit taller than me. And like the amount of I don't know what it is about society that like really knocks at their confidence because of their height. but it bums me the fuck out. Like when you're a small girl, people are always like, oh, you're so wee, you're so tiny, it's so cute, right? And I always wonder, like, what are people saying to short dudes that is like crushing their confidence so much about it, right? It bums me out. It bums me out. Because I think short dudes are awesome. They just say the exact same thing. Oh, for sure. Yeah. I have lady friends who are super tall who also feel very insecure about it. I think because, like, I don't know what it is. There are a lot of, like, tiny dudes in my family. So I think I feel like a familial bond with smaller dudes. I don't know. You guys always give great hugs because it's like I can like dance really well with smaller dudes. Amazing. Right? I guess there is that, yeah. That like men are constantly given value in like physical performance, and so like being smaller for some reason makes it seem like that's diminished somehow. So stupid. Rocket, dudes. I think swapped is just as adorable. And maybe that's not the word that you want to hear, but like when I see a smaller dude with a really tall girl as well, I'm just like, fuck yes. I think it's so cute. But I get it if that's not the word you want to hear. How are you so wholesome all the time? I'm going to take that as a compliment. I don't know. You'll enjoy my wedding photos then. Hell yes. Hit me with those. Tall guy here, airplanes suck. Yeah, my husband bangs his head on fucking everything. Poor dude. Do you care about level of fitness or do you not care whatsoever? That's never been a huge priority for me, no. I've always been very like personality focused. I remember somebody asked me out and I said no because I just wasn't attracted to them. And they like accused me of not wanting to go out with them because they were bigger. And I remember feeling like really, really sad. This was a long time ago, but I remember feeling really sad because that wasn't at all what it was. But I could tell that like that was something that he was really like worried about, you know, that was like holding our potential relationship back or something. And I just got so sad because I was like, that's not what it is at all. And it bums me out that that's like your first thought is that that's what it is, you know. It's just that I don't want to date you. I don't know what to say, you know. But I think it was just like projecting insecurities onto the situation. but it made it like me reacting that way almost made it worse. Right? Because then it was like a pity thing. Then he saw it as a pity thing. And I was like, God, I can't win. So I walked away. But insecurity, like they really can permeate. And sometimes you don't know where they came from, or like if you've developed them yourself, or if they've come from somebody else, or like from media, right? It's always interesting to try and unpackage that shit, but sometimes we just don't want to, and that's totally fine too. Empathy going into overdrive. Yeah, I've always been like a hyper empathetic person, and sometimes people don't want that. Oh my God. There have been multiple times in my life where somebody has said has been telling me a story and they'll start crying, and then I'll cry. And then they're like, why the fuck are you crying? Like, I don't know. That happened with my dad once. My dad was like telling me a story from when he was younger, and he like started crying, and I sobbed, and he was like, it's very sweet that you're so empathetic and that you're crying with me when you literally like don't. Like, there's no reason for you to be crying right now. But that's always been me. Have you ever used the I only like you as a friend excuse? I mean, when it's the truth, yeah. I've been put into the position multiple times where I have been good friends with somebody and they've asked me out and I've said no. And then they've gotten upset with me because they believed that our friendship was me flirting when it was just me interacting with them as a friend, right? And I think that that's like very frustrating, but very common. Sort of like the misconception of like, this is how I behave with all of my friends. I don't know what to tell you, you know? I think any situation in which you feel pressured to say yes to that, you should like absolutely say no, even if you get accused of shit later, right? Even if people accuse you of like, well, you led me on. I didn't. I just thought we were good friends and that I could like hang out with you and joke around with you, right? I don't think that you need to ever feel bad about that. It can be unfortunate that that's how it was perceived by the other person. But it's definitely not your fault, right? And I think it took a really long time for me to be able to tell myself that, like, that wasn't my bad. You know, if I can honestly look back and say, like, I legitimately thought we were just really good, close friends, then that's not my fault, right? That's just a misunderstanding, a misconception.
Welcome, you fine cat-loving, coffee-drinking...
What am I doing with my life? Help. Oh my God. Thank you so much for subscribing and becoming a new member of the Cat Gang. Razakel, thank you for the 2 months. Skull Devil, thank you for the 9. Happy Twitch, baby. Flack Yosh, thank you for the 15.
Welcome.
Weird Uncle Jay, thank you so much for the biddies. Just Dazak, thank you so much for subscribing. And Bears Fan, thank you so much for subscribing as well. Both of you, welcome to the Kato Gangu.
Welcome, you fine cat-loving, coffee-drinking...
Oh no, it's totally fine. That name is me IRL. Dude, yesterday when we were playing Tricky Towers and anytime somebody's tower kept falling over and everybody in chat was like, that person's me. That person's my life. I was like, no, guys. Mr. Pokelope, thank you so much for subscribing and becoming a new member of the Cat Gang. For sure. Yeah. Anybody, like, depending on who you are in your life up until that point, you're going to perceive situations differently, right? It happens in absolutely everything. Otherwise, there would be no discourse in the world, right? It's not like I'm ever saying that a person who came to me and said, I thought that our relationship was different than you did, makes me go, well, fuck you, right? Like, that's like a form of entitlement that blah, 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 right? It's just their perception of things was different from my perception of things. And I'm always of the opinion that once it's talked through, I'm down to still be friends. I'm down for us to like talk through it and move on, right? And most of the time, both parties are down to talk through it and move on, which is great. Like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people, or I feel like there's like a misconception that any kind of discourse between friends means that the friendship is over, right? And I think that that's really, really sad. And I think a lot of people feel that way about relationships too. Like, well, if I bring up this thing that I'm upset about, we might break up, right? Or like, if I bring up this thing, like, they're going to be so mad at me. When typically, if both people are invested in the relationship, they want to talk through that shit, right? Even if they get defensive at first, in the end, they want to bring it back to a place where there's mutual understanding, right? And I think accepting and acknowledging the fact that you got to this point in a different way than the other person got to this point helps a little bit, you know? And you can say like, well, I think the way that you're perceiving the world is wrong. Sure, you can totally say that. But like, if you value the relationship and you want to move past it and stick with that person in whatever capacity, it's important to talk through that stuff, right? And to not feel pressured to like change the relationship in a way that is not comfortable with what you want. And that not only means, that's not only referencing like, don't start dating somebody when you don't actually like them, but also if somebody says, I don't want to date you, and you realize like, I'm not going to be able to move on from this in a healthy way if we still interact all the time, it's okay. That's okay too, right? To just be like honest, like, I need time by myself. I need to not be around you for a while, like, because otherwise I'm going to get stuck here. I think regardless, like, that's important and good to say and to stand up for what you need, you know. Clumsy Goose Cat, thank you for the 8 months. And Civilized Worm, thank you for the 2 months.
Welcome, you fine cat-loving, coffee-drinking burrito babe.
I'm the only girl in my family. This feels like a heart-to-heart with my big sis. Aw. Have you ever been on the other side of that situation? Yes, I have. And I did need to like step back. So. This is a strange topic to hop into. I know, we got real intense today. Sorry, guys. Viva la Veritas! Thank you so much for subscribing and becoming a new member of the Katogangu. I also don't feel like a friendship is any less of an important friendship if you don't really talk about like heavy drama shit, right? There are always going to be friends that you talk to about like the serious shit, and then there are going to be friends that you don't really. And I think that both are very valuable and important to a person. And maybe you're the sort of person who's like, I really only have a couple of friends and I'm cool with that. Awesome. But I don't think that there's any reason to feel like, well, I don't really talk about the heavy shit with my friends. Are we not really friends, right? Like, that's not true at all, I don't think. When are you getting your therapy license? Semi-joking. This is now Loveline. Oof, gosh. Oof, gosh. Actual LD50, thank you for the 2 months. Miss Michelle Jean, thank you for gifting a sub to Hippo Animus. Welcome back to the Katogungu. And Resnick, thank you for the 20 months. Hella burps coming out. Do you ever wish your casual friends would be more serious? No. I'm the sort of person who's always willing to talk about like important stuff with people. Like if somebody, even if I don't feel like we're super close, if somebody trusts me enough to come to me with something, there's a part of me that feels very like I can be there for this person, right? That's always my inclination, is like, if I can help, then yeah, I'm here for sure, right? If for some reason you feel comfortable talking, maybe you feel comfortable talking to me because we're not that close, right? Because like everybody that you're really close to is involved in the shit, or you just like don't want it getting back to other people. Like maybe you just feel like you need to talk to somebody else. That's cool. I'm down. But like, if I have friends where that never really happens, do they not bring any value to my life? That's not true at all. I have friends who are just like people that cheer me up. You know, I have friends where when we hang out or when we talk, when we're, you know, playing a game together, whatever, I feel like happier because I'm hanging out with them, right? Like they just bring me like, they just bring a jovial feeling to my day. And I think that has a lot of value. I think that has a ton of value for a person. So I have friends that I know I can talk about the serious shit with. I have friends that I know I can talk to about like super TMI shit, right? And those are sometimes totally different people. Like there are people where just a TMI thing has come up and it wasn't weird, and I'm like, cool, I know that that if it comes up, that if a thing comes up, it's not going to be weird with you, right? Like that's cool. That's great to know. And then I have friends where it's just like we just have a great time. And that's cool. That's valuable for sure. Problem was, that happens to me, but I have no idea how to help that person. I felt so bad. I guess it depends on the person, right? Some people aren't really looking for like a response. They just need to get it out. I feel like I have a lot of people like that just need to like say it. And sometimes for people, just saying it out loud and describing the situation helps them think clearer about it. So I try not to worry about whether or not I'm going to be valuable in terms of giving information back. Because I feel like a lot of times really what a person is looking for is just somebody who's not going to be biased, that's just going to listen, you know? And I'm cool with that. I don't feel used when that's the situation, you know, if somebody's like, I just need to like say shit. The thing that I try really hard not to do is make it about me. So I think sometimes the inclination when somebody comes to you with a situation, is to say, oh, that's like this thing that's going on in my life, right? To try and like make a connection and try to like bridge the gap and talk about things. But sometimes that kind of creates a skewed situation where it's like, I know you're going through big shit, but like, here's big shit I'm going through, right? So I try not to do that as much as I might feel inclined to be like, oh, there's something similar that I've experienced, right? I try not to do that as much if it's like a really serious thing, because I want them to know that I'm focusing on what's going on with them and I'm not distracted by like my own shit. And if later on we talk about it again, then I feel more comfortable being like, yeah, it's kind of like this thing, you know, it reminds me of last time that we were talking about it, I was thinking about that conversation we had, and it reminded me of this thing that's going on with me, and like, you know, here's how I've been working through that or whatever. I try not to bring that up right off the bat because I want them to know that like I am invested in them and the fact that they're trusting me with this information, instead of being like, that's cool that all of that shit's going on. Also, here's my life. Rogue Chris, thank you so much for subscribing and becoming a new member of the Cat Gang. Dan Berger, thank you so much for the 9 months. Happy Twitch, baby. Floppy Llama, thank you for the biddies. I just realized this is the Internet Dodger. It is. Welcome. RNGJP, thank you for the 3 months. And Suzo, thank you so much for the biddies. The only one. The only Dooger. The one Doogs.
Coffee drinking burrito babe.
And Coop, thank you so much for subscribing and becoming a new member of the Cat Gang. Did you see that incredible stage direction from the show Kidding? Kidding? No, I have never heard of that show. I have never seen Lovely Complex, no. You have a Naruto shirt on. I sure do. Look at this sweet boy. Fuck. Shit. I want to believe it. There's going to be a Naruto event at Gallery Nucleus in Los Angeles. And I texted Kristen and I was like, will you go to a Naruto event with me? And she was like, do you even have to ask? Oh, hey, it's Boruto's dad. It is. It sure is. Dodge this, Angie. Thank you for gifting us up to Midwinter Lily. Welcome to the Cat Gang. And Pierm, thank you so much for the 2 months. It sounds like a bunch of people running with their arms behind them, right? I'm into that. I was like, will you Naruto run away with me? And she goes, Databayo. That's friendship. That's the real shit. Have you decided on whether or not there's going to be a spooky game stream? I would like to do one. I haven't talked about it with Sam yet, but Ken killed Barbie. Thank you so much for the 7 months. What time is it? It's a little past noon, so I think that we'll start wrapping up here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out for I don't know, weird Mama Doog's time. I hope that I was helpful at all. Or just like sort of cathartic, maybe, to just talk about shit. What the fuck? What am I looking for? What is going on? There it is. Jesus. Couldn't find my list for a second there. That was weird. Oh, I'm glad. Anytime somebody describes this stream as wholesome, despite the fact that I'm throwing out F-bombs all the time, I'm happy. Somehow I feel like I'm coming back to neutral. But, yeah. All right, I'm going to read these off. I'll shoot you guys over to somebody else to watch once I'm done. So if you'd like to stick around and be part of a raid, that would be awesome. If this is like your first time here and you had a blast or you enjoyed yourself, hit the follow button and come back. We've got a great community. And if this was your millionth time here, you're the best. Thank you for the continued support. You guys are great. All right. Thank you so much to Fight Groth, Slice Thanix. God, I'm so bad at names today. Brandy Meow, Grimsteel Reaper, Silent Matt, RND942, Sazada, Rory, Adamant NZ, Shifty Monk, Mod Nova, Dwake, Lauren the Lady, Teviston, Wetfly, That New Guy, Dandy Bat, No Really It's Matt, JT, Berserker Works, Kata X, Blowpen, Hun Bullseye, Molecular, CLLE, Goo for You, Celadice, Put Mana, Rose Attacker, Dark Shadow 58, Cat Dragon Rose, Toma, Blueberry, Da Damson, Be Dang, Nab That Cat and Run, Just Dazak, What Am I Doing With My Life? Help, Background Kitty, Young Tulip, Bears Fan, Mr. Pokelope, Rum Pixel, Kodo Ryu, Hippoanimus, RNGJP, Actual LD50, Viva La Veritas, Rogue Chris, and Coop, Midwinter Lily, Illidea, and oh my gosh, a bunch of community gift subs were just dropped. Avi, thank you for gifting subs to BR Derivation, Dastudge, Funky Shroom, Ray L14A9, the Scruffy LJ, Baldaznu, Viljarda, Vosk, Improbable Wobble, and Senior Morrison. All of you, welcome to the Cat Gang. Be sure to thank Avi10 in chat for those subscriptions. Thank you. That's very generous. And Potato also gifted a bunch of subs to Father Bacon, Elsie Stark, Stenkampton, Zeddy, and Jiggles105. All of you, welcome to the Cat Gang. Be sure to thank Potato for those. Thank you, guys. That's very sweet right at the end here. I appreciate it. Pluviomancy, thank you for the 21 months. And Shadow8935, thank you so much for subscribing. I will see you guys next time. Take care of yourselves. Next stream will be on Monday. Tomorrow is a day off for me, so I'm going to be hanging out with my baboo and all that. But I hope you guys have a great day, and thank you very much.